Hello, everyone. I wanted to make another video and share with you a couple thoughts about entrepreneurship. The first thing I want to say is just maybe to share with you what I consider my entrepreneurial journey. And I want to begin with a couple thoughts about entrepreneurship generally. And the first is a definition of entrepreneurship that I heard from actually a student once. And I have looked for who said it and I can't find it. But she said an entrepreneur is a person whose vision exceeds their resources. So, that's not a traditional or a technical definition of entrepreneurship, right? And sort of in business language speak, and entrepreneurial business is something that you can grow and then sell that business. And that is as opposed to a small business, which is something where you employ yourself. But I want to take sort of the broader and more expansive definition of entrepreneurship to mean any endeavor that you set out on without adequate resources to accomplish or to accomplish your vision. I think that is entrepreneurship generally defined. And I think there's another element to entrepreneurship that I haven't heard other people say, but perhaps others have. But I think one key element to entrepreneurship is to trust in your future self. In essence, what you do when you start a business is you're setting out on a journey without adequate resources to finish the journey. So to have the confidence to do that, you have to trust that that the problems that you're going to get yourself into, your future self will be able to resolve and get you through those problems. So those are just a couple of thoughts of generally just on entrepreneurship generally. And then I'll share with you what kind of my entrepreneurship journey, which begins at SUU. I was a professor. I am a professor just teaching marketing classes when there was some interest in beginning an entrepreneurship program at SUU. I was not, especially given my background, which is not heavy in entrepreneurship. I've had several jobs that require some kind of entrepreneurial thinking of some sort, but really more purely an academic. But there were some people in the School of Business and some supporters of entrepreneurship generally that were going to fund the program that thought I was a good fit. And in this sense, this was for me a huge entrepreneurial endeavor because I did not know what I was getting myself into really in terms of what it would take to start an entrepreneurship program. And then found myself having to learn things I just had no concept of prior to beginning. And that's really what you do in so many businesses that you end up working to solve problems that you couldn't have imagined on day one. And I'll share with you what I think was the biggest challenge in starting the entrepreneurship program, which was that we needed money. It's really hard to have a business pitch competition and just give people high fives when they win. We needed some money, and one of the great philanthropies in our state is the Larry H. and Gail Miller Family Foundation, and I approached them with the support of SUU's Advancement Office, which is a fundraising arm. And we got a great agreement with them. They agreed to give us $1 million up front with the commitment that we would have to raise $2 million within a span of 3 years. And if we did not raise $2 million within the span of 3 years, we would have to give that $1 million back. If we did, they would give us an additional $1 million. And that seemed like a pretty good deal to me. And so I sort of became a fundraiser for about 2 years. Well, it was I said three. It was a 3-year agreement, and for the first 2 years, I worked to raise money. By the third year, we were not even close, and I realized that I would have to do this more or less on my own, that our advancement office at SUU was not functioning the way it was supposed to. And so it was basically up to me to either raise $2 million. It wasn't that much. There was less at that point. It was closer to $1 million left. But we had already hit up all the relatively easy money at that point. So that was a major challenge, and it came down to the last minute, literally December. I was doing everything I could to raise money. We squeaked across the finish line, and so that's for me an instance of my vision for the program exceeding my resources, but also trusting my future self that I would be able to solve the problems that came up, and so I did. Now that was to me sort of under the more expansive understanding of what an entrepreneur is. On the more narrow understanding, I've started a couple of small businesses and invested in other small businesses that I've become aware of as a function of my newfound interest in entrepreneurship. The one quite successful company I invested in at the start is called the Nostalgia Network, formerly Classic Reruns TV, which was launched in Cedar City, and is now operating out of Georgia. Not that that's interesting. I also started partnered with my sister in a company called Mama Museum, which are these cool fridge magnets that are meant for kids' drawings. They're 8.5 by 11, so it's like your child brings home the construction paper with macaroni noodles. We've got these really cool frames that you use to hold those on the fridge, so it looks like it's meant to look like a museum frame, hence the name Mama Museum. And then you can probably see behind me guitars. That's another business that I started. It's called Funktown Thunderslap, which is a guitar restoration business. And this came really out of the pandemic. And I played guitar in high school. And then between high school and now, which is 30 years, I maybe played, high school and the pandemic, I maybe played for 4 hours or something like that. Never really, I had my guitars, I just never picked them up again. And during the pandemic, I just got back into playing the guitar. Then I got into kind of modifying them, and then I got into restoring them, and then I started selling them, and I started buying and selling more guitars. And it is not gonna fund a retirement or anything. I think I've sold 6 or 7, maybe 8 guitars, but all for a profit, and it's been a really fun side hustle. And so I just share those examples with you. Hopefully there's some value in it. I appreciate your attention. And if the last video is any indication, there aren't many of you watching this, but if there are, please let me know that you have found we'll say, purple Easter egg. Maybe I said that last time. It's my favorite color. So I'll say the brown Easter egg, since I'm sure I didn't say that last time. So if you see this, say you found the brown Easter egg, and I'll give you extra credit. Thanks for your attention.